This is the ramblings of an Indisciplined Mind podcast for Friday, May 27th, 2016. As of this recording, Sierra is still missing. So, what I thought I'd talk about today... Oh, by the way, correction. When I was talking about the Quantum Break, if you're looking for those videos, they weren't done by Josh Jepson. They were done by Ghost Robo. There's like 25 videos in the series. I've only seen like 6 or 7, something along those lines. But it's a cool little game. I must say. So what I thought I'd talk about today is I kind of feel like we might be reaching the end of an era with the Olympic Games. We like to watch the Olympics quite a bit. It's something we enjoy when they're on. And we've got summer games coming up this month. Or this summer, I should say. I think it's August, not this month. And there's a lot of uncertainty about it from a number of different areas. And I kind of feel like I kind of feel like it might be the end of the Olympics as we know it going forward. It just, the stuff I'm reading, it just feels like there's a fundamental shift, a paradigm shift or whatever, but there's a shift going on. You know, Brazil in particular is politically a mess. They just had their president impeached and removed from office, which is something that has been expected over the last month or two. I think the impeachment actually happened most of the month, maybe like early this month, something along those lines. So most of the month ago. And so they've got like an interim president in place now, probably like vice president or something. There's questions about whether Brazil is going to be ready in time, whether they can really handle these Olympics or not, so on and so forth. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. You know, if their venues are done on time, how good their facilities are. Now, I remember there was a lot of concern before the Beijing Olympics, but they banned and pulled it off. But I don't know. We'll see. There seems to be, the people that watch this stuff seem to be concerned about how much they're going to be ready. Ooh, somebody ran over a skunk. So the other thing that's going on is I was reading an article talking about the economic burden of hosting the Olympics. And this article was talking about how for most, established countries, the US, China, England, not developing nations, if you will, it isn't economically feasible to host an Olympics anymore. Most of the places that have done it have lost money in the long run when you consider the cost of building the venues and everything. So the thought process was, well, it's really only the only people that really kind of make money and make longer lasting jobs and have a good long-term effect on the economy are developing nations, because you're developing infrastructure maybe that wasn't there before, and things of that nature, and that because of that they thought it was going to be less and less likely that the major metropolitan centers of the world in the established countries are going to be wanting to vie for the honor of having the Olympics in their town. Now, I don't know what the likelihood of that is, but it's an interesting perspective, because when it comes right down to it, yeah, it's an honor to hold the Olympics, but a city's gonna do that in the hopes that they're gonna make money from it. That it's gonna provide an economic benefit, and hopefully one that's going to last beyond the Olympics themselves. I don't know if this study took into account, because usually you've got the venues there, and outside of something drastic like Sarajevo, where the whole political thing goes to pot and everything's blown up within a few years thereafter. I mean, usually the venues are used for other events and things of that nature. So I don't know about a longer term but economic impact that these things could have. But it'd be interesting to see if that prediction holds out, that we aren't going to see a London and Atlanta, some of these other places, Beijing, that we're not necessarily going to see them vying for these, because they don't really make economic sense like they used to. And then the other thing that's going on is the doping. There's been a lot of doping investigations and allegations, and are even going back and retrieving the urine samples from the 2008 and 2012 Olympics and retesting those now, mainly for athletes that they are expecting to want to compete in Rio this year. And they went back 2008, which I believe was Beijing, and they found something on the order of 33 athletes from various countries that were showing up as having doping, and for those, almost half of those were identified as being from the country of Russia. And Russia's even a bigger problem. Apparently, using illegal substances, substances made illegal by the IOC and the various agencies that run the various sports. It's a systematic problem there in Russia. Although the government denies that it's government run, it seems to be very prevalent there, to the point where some people were calling for Russia should be banned from the Rio Games altogether. So yeah, that's and then just today they were retesting some people from 2012 Olympics, and I forget where that was located at. And they came up with 23 athletes from I forget what, there was from 6 countries and from 9 sports or something along those lines, that were showing positive as doing some form of doping. They aren't going to release names until apparently you give an A and a B urine sample, and so they've retested A and have identified these 23, and now they're going to retest B before they release anything. It does really make you wonder, though, if you want to wonder how far the corruption goes, is how is it that these things were missed in 2008 and 2012? And one of the articles I read even commented on that fact. It doesn't seem to be a matter of we've got newer technology, we've got substances to test for that we didn't have back in 2008, 2012. Those don't seem to be the case, at least in the articles that I've read. And then nobody seems to really be giving any kind of an explanation as to why these things were missed after those Olympics. So, yeah, the Olympics have problems. They have really big problems, and I think it's something that they're going to have to address. If they just think they're going to keep on, keep on keeping on, I don't think that's a recipe for success. And who knows, if in an extreme scenario, it might even lead to the end of the modern Olympic Games. So that's what I was thinking about. It's been pooling in the back of my brain for a while, and I saw that article today, and I thought, okay, let's talk about that. So I will be back tomorrow on Saturday, and I'll be talking to you then. So be seeing you.